One of the most frustrating things I hear from people over 60 is this idea that losing muscle is just part of getting older. They'll say things like, well, I guess it's all downhill from here, or my body just isn't what it used to be. But the truth is that mindset is completely wrong, and in many cases, it's the reason they continue to lose strength, balance, and energy year after year. What if I told you that muscle loss after 60 is not only preventable, it's reversible? Your body still has the incredible ability to rebuild, repair, and grow stronger, even in your later years if you give it the right tools. Let's start with what actually causes muscle loss, or sarcopenia. Most people assume it's simply a result of aging, but the real culprits are hidden beneath the surface. As we age, our hormones, insulin sensitivity, and nutrient absorption begin to change. Combine that with less activity, more processed food, and chronic stress, and you've got a recipe for gradual muscle wasting. But here's the fascinating part. Studies now show that the rate of muscle protein synthesis, the process that builds muscle, doesn't disappear with age. It simply becomes less responsive to certain triggers, especially poor quality proteins and low activity levels. That means your body is still capable of rebuilding. It just needs a stronger signal. Now, think about this for a second. When you were younger, your muscles would grow easily after exercise or a protein-rich meal. As you get older, that signal weakens, but it doesn't vanish. It's like a radio. The station is still broadcasting, but the signal is fuzzy. The way to fix it is to tune the signal with the right frequency, quality protein, key amino acids like leucine, proper digestion, and resistance training. Once those factors line up, the muscle building switch turns back on. I've seen people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s regain tone, strength, and mobility in a matter of weeks simply by optimizing their nutrition and activating the right pathways. But here's where most people go wrong. They assume that just eating more protein or drinking protein shakes will solve it. The problem is that older adults don't digest and absorb protein as efficiently. Their stomach acid levels are lower, their enzyme activity slows, and their gut microbiome often becomes imbalanced. So even if they eat enough protein, much of it never gets fully absorbed. That's why focusing on highly bioavailable proteins is key. Cheese, particularly aged varieties like Parmesan or easily digestible ones like goat cheese, contain amino acids in a form your body can use quickly and efficiently. These proteins are pre-digested in a sense because of the fermentation and aging process, making them ideal for someone over 60. Now let's talk about insulin, because this hormone plays a far bigger role in muscle health than most people realize. Chronically elevated insulin, driven by refined carbs and frequent snacking, not only causes fat gain but also blocks muscle repair. When insulin levels are high all the time, your body can't efficiently access stored fat for energy, and your muscle cells become resistant to growth signals. But when you bring insulin levels down through intermittent fasting, reducing carbs, and eating nutrient-dense, high-fat foods like cheese, something incredible happens. Your body starts burning fat for fuel again, inflammation decreases, and your muscles become more sensitive to growth signals. It's like flipping the metabolic switch back to your youth. Now here's a fascinating discovery. Your muscle tissue isn't just for strength. It's actually a powerful metabolic organ. The more muscle you have, the better your blood sugar control, hormone balance, and energy levels. Muscle acts like a sponge for glucose. It soaks up excess sugar and keeps your metabolism running smoothly. So when you lose muscle, you don't just lose strength, you lose metabolic control. That's why people over 60 often feel tired, gain belly fat, and develop insulin resistance. Rebuilding muscle literally rewires your metabolism. Think about a person who starts resistance training and adds even 5 pounds of lean muscle. That might not sound like much, but those 5 pounds can burn an extra few hundred calories per day at rest, improve posture, strengthen joints, and make everyday movements effortless. And the best part, you don't need to lift heavy weights to do it. Light resistance, bodyweight training, or even daily walking combined with proper nutrition is enough to stimulate growth, as long as you have the right nutrients available. But let's be honest, many people over 60 have been told to avoid fat, avoid salt, and cut calories. That old school advice has done more harm than good. Your body needs healthy fats, minerals, and cholesterol to maintain hormones that preserve muscle, like testosterone and growth hormone. Without those building blocks, your muscles simply can't repair. That's why including full, fat dairy in moderate amounts can be so beneficial. The combination of amino acids, fat-soluble vitamins, calcium, and probiotics in certain cheeses provides the perfect environment for muscle recovery and growth. And I want you to remember this, rebuilding muscle isn't just about looking good. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your stability, and your independence. Every pound of muscle you regain improves your balance, reduces your risk of falls, and supports your bones. Strong muscles mean strong bones, strong immunity, and a sharp mind. Muscle is your armor against aging. Now, here's a little known fact. The loss of muscle is one of the strongest predictors of mortality as we age. But the reverse is also true. People with higher muscle mass live longer, healthier lives. That means every step you take, every nutrient, dense meal you eat, every bit of effort you put into resistance training, it's literally extending your lifespan. That's how powerful this is. Imagine waking up in the morning with more energy, feeling lighter, stronger, and more stable. Imagine walking up the stairs without pain, carrying your groceries effortlessly, or playing with your grandkids without fatigue. That's not wishful thinking. That's what happens when your body starts building again instead of breaking down. So the question isn't whether muscle loss is inevitable. It's whether you'll choose to give your body the tools it needs to reverse it. When you fuel your body with real food, like the right cheeses rich in amino acids, calcium, and vitamin K2, and combine it with movement, hydration, and rest, your muscles will respond. Your age doesn't define your potential, your choices do. Your body is not too old to change. It's waiting for you to start. And that's the beautiful thing about human biology. It's designed to heal, repair, and adapt at any age. Once you align with that, you stop aging passively and start living intentionally. You stop accepting weakness as normal and begin seeing strength as your natural state. So don't let the number on your birthday cake decide your vitality. Because the truth is, even after 60, you can rebuild, rejuvenate, and rediscover the strength you thought was gone. All it takes is the right strategy and the belief that it's possible. You've probably heard the phrase, just eat more protein, right? It's the advice that gets tossed around whenever someone over 60 complains about losing strength or muscle tone. But here's the problem. It's not about eating more protein, it's about eating the right kind of protein. See, after the age of 60, your body becomes far more selective about what it can actually use. You could eat steak chicken or protein shakes all day long, but if your body can't digest, absorb, and utilize those amino acids properly, you're not rebuilding muscle. You're just wasting nutrients. This is one of the most misunderstood aspects of aging and muscle health, and it's exactly why so many older adults struggle to regain their strength no matter how hard they try. Let me explain what really happens behind the scenes. When you eat protein, your digestive system breaks it down into smaller molecules called amino acids. These amino acids are then absorbed into your bloodstream and used to build and repair tissues, especially muscle. But as we get older, the stomach produces less hydrochloric acid and fewer digestive enzymes. That means your body's ability to break down and absorb protein declines significantly. So even if you're eating enough grams of protein, your cells might not be getting the building blocks they need. That's why quality, not quantity, becomes the real secret to maintaining and rebuilding muscle after 60. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Not all proteins are created equal. The biological value of a protein measures how efficiently your body can convert it into muscle tissue. High-quality animal proteins like eggs, fish, and cheese contain all 9 essential amino acids in the right proportions your body needs. But among them, one amino acid stands out, leucine. Leucine is like the ignition key that starts the muscle building engine. Without enough leucine, muscle protein synthesis simply doesn't happen, no matter how much total protein you eat. That's why certain foods are so powerful for older adults. They deliver leucine in a form your body can actually use. Parmesan cheese, for example, is one of the richest natural sources of leucine on the planet. Just a few tablespoons can trigger the muscle building process far more effectively than a scoop of low-quality protein powder. It's aged, concentrated, and packed with bioavailable amino acids. And because it's lower in lactose and easier to digest, your body can access those nutrients without irritation or bloating. The same goes for cottage cheese, which is loaded with casein, a slow-digesting protein that provides a steady stream of amino acids over several hours. That means your muscles stay nourished longer, even while you sleep. And then there's goat cheese, another powerful source of digestible protein and beneficial fats that support energy production and recovery. So when we talk about protein quality, what we really mean is how efficiently your body can extract and use the amino acids from that food. Processed protein powders, soy isolates, and low-quality supplements often contain incomplete amino acid profiles or are denatured from heat and chemicals. Your body doesn't recognize them as natural food. It treats them more like foreign substances. But when you eat real, nutrient-dense foods like cheese, eggs, and fish, your body immediately knows what to do. The enzymes, fats, and micronutrients in these foods act synergistically to improve absorption and utilization. It's the difference between fueling your body with high-octane energy or cheap filler that clogs the system. Now here's something that might surprise you. You don't need massive quantities of protein to build muscle, even after 60. What you need is efficiency. Think of it this way, a smaller amount of a complete, digestible protein can outperform large amounts of poor quality protein. That's why certain cheeses, despite their small serving size, can have such a huge impact on muscle repair. They're dense in amino acids, naturally fermented, and rich in cofactors like calcium, vitamin K2, and healthy fats that enhance muscle and bone health. You're not just feeding your muscles, You're supporting the entire metabolic system that allows muscle growth to happen. But there's another layer to this timing. As we age, our anabolic response, the ability to turn protein into muscle, becomes less sensitive. So instead of grazing all day or snacking constantly, it's better to eat in defined meals that provide a strong protein stimulus. When you consume a concentrated amount of high-quality protein in one sitting, say 25 to 40 grams, you activate the mTOR pathway, which signals the body to start building muscle tissue. This is especially effective when paired with resistance exercise or even light strength training. Think of it as giving your body both the raw materials and the instruction manual at the same time. One of the most common mistakes older adults make is relying on lean, low-fat protein sources. While that may sound healthy, it's actually counterproductive. You need the fat that comes with natural proteins. Fat helps absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K2, all of which are critical for muscle, bone, and hormone health. Cheese, particularly aged and full-fat varieties, provides these nutrients in their most bioavailable form. The vitamin K2 found in aged cheeses helps direct calcium into your bones and muscles, keeping them strong and functional. Without enough K2, calcium can end up in your arteries instead, contributing to stiffness and poor circulation. So the real strategy after 60 isn't just more protein, it's eat smarter protein. Focus on quality, digestibility, and timing. Incorporate aged cheeses, high-quality dairy, and whole foods that deliver a complete amino acid profile. Avoid the processed, low-fat versions that strip away the very nutrients your body needs to utilize that protein. When you start giving your body better fuel, you'll notice the difference. Not just in your strength, but in your energy, your recovery, and even your mental clarity. And let's not forget the gut connection. Without a healthy gut, even the best protein in the world won't help. The microbes in your gut play a huge role in nutrient absorption and inflammation control. Fermented cheeses support a healthy microbiome, which means better digestion and more efficient protein utilization. You're not just feeding your muscles, you're feeding the beneficial bacteria that make those muscles possible. Think of your body like a machine that's been running for 60 plus years. Over time, parts wear down, fuel efficiency drops, and the system needs maintenance. High-quality protein is that maintenance fuel. It repairs the small tears in your muscle fibers, restores your mitochondria, and helps your body run smoothly again. Every bite of real food is a message to your cells: rebuild, repair, and renew. When you eat clean, nutrient-dense protein sources, that message gets through loud and clear. Now, I want you to imagine this. You start your day with a protein-rich breakfast that includes some cottage cheese, maybe paired with a few nuts or some avocado for healthy fat. You go for a short walk or do a few resistance exercises. By evening, you enjoy a dinner with a sprinkle of Parmesan or a little goat cheese on top of your salad or vegetables. Over time, your muscles start to feel firmer, your energy levels climb, and your body composition begins to change. You're not just maintaining muscle, you're rebuilding it. You're reversing years of gradual decline simply by changing the quality of what you eat. That's the beauty of it. You don't need extreme diets, powders, or complicated meal plans. You need the wisdom of nature and the science of biology working together. When you feed your body real, high-quality protein, the kind found in certain cheeses and whole foods, you're speaking your body's native language. And once your body understands that message again, it responds quickly. It begins to rebuild, strengthen, and rejuvenate. So, next time you think about protein, don't just ask, am I getting enough? Ask, is my body actually using it? Because after 60, that single question can make the difference between slow decline and vibrant, powerful aging. Your body already knows how to build muscle. You just have to give it the right kind of signal. And that signal begins with the quality of the protein you eat, not the quantity. Most people look at cheese as something indulgent, a guilty pleasure, a food you're supposed to avoid if you want to stay lean or heart healthy. But what if I told you that after 60, certain cheeses can actually help you rebuild muscle, strengthen your bones, and fight off the very aging process that causes weakness and fatigue? The truth is, the right kinds of cheese are among the most nutrient-dense, muscle-supporting foods you can eat. The problem is, most people have been taught to fear fat, and in doing so, they've stripped away one of the most powerful muscle-preserving foods available. Let's break that old belief right now because the science is clear. When it comes to rebuilding your body after 60, cheese is not the enemy. It's an ally. As we age, one of the biggest battles we face is sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. What most people don't realize is that muscle loss isn't just about exercise. It's also about cellular nutrition. Muscles are made of protein, yes, but they're maintained through a delicate balance of hormones, enzymes, and micronutrients. When those nutrients decline, which happens naturally as digestion and absorption slow with age, your muscle fibers begin to break down faster than they can rebuild. That's where certain cheeses come in. They deliver the perfect package of protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals that directly feed your muscles, joints, and bones at the same time. Let's start with the protein. Cheese contains all 9 essential amino acids, the ones your body cannot make on its own. These amino acids are the raw materials your muscles need to repair themselves after daily wear and tear. But unlike many protein sources, the protein in cheese is highly bioavailable. That means your body can digest it easily and convert it into muscle tissue efficiently. This is critical for people over 60 whose digestive enzymes and stomach acid levels often decline. Because aged cheeses are partially fermented and broken down by beneficial bacteria, the amino acids they contain are more accessible. Your body doesn't have to work as hard to extract them. They're essentially pre-digested, ready to go straight to work repairing your muscles. Now, let's talk about the fat in cheese, because this is where the magic really happens. You've probably been told for decades to avoid saturated fat. But what if that advice was based on old, outdated science? The truth is, the fats found in natural, full-fat cheeses are not harmful. They're healing. These fats are essential for hormone production, especially testosterone and growth hormone, which both decline with age and are crucial for maintaining muscle mass. Without enough healthy fat, your hormones can't function properly, and your muscles won't rebuild no matter how much protein you eat. The fats in cheese also slow digestion, helping you absorb more nutrients from your meal and keeping your energy steady throughout the day. And there's more. Cheese is one of the best sources of calcium, not the kind that just strengthens your bones, but the kind your body can actually use. The calcium in cheese is bound with phosphorus and vitamin K2, which directs it to your bones and muscles rather than your arteries. That's an important distinction. Most people over 60 take calcium supplements, but without K2, much of that calcium ends up in the wrong places, stiffening your arteries and joints instead of supporting your skeletal system. Aged cheeses like Parmesan and Gouda are rich in vitamin K2, making them perfect for keeping calcium where it belongs. Strong bones support strong muscles, and together they give you stability, coordination, and resilience as you age. What's fascinating is that cheese also plays a role in reducing inflammation, something that directly affects your ability to build muscle. Chronic inflammation acts like a silent fire that breaks down muscle tissue faster than it can regenerate. Certain compounds found in cheese, such as conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, and butyrate, help to put out that fire. CLA supports fat metabolism and muscle retention, while butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid produced during cheese fermentation, helps nourish the lining of your gut and lower systemic inflammation. When inflammation drops, your recovery improves, your energy levels rise, and your body becomes more responsive to exercise and nutrition. And here's something you might not expect: cheese supports your mitochondria, the energy factories inside your cells. Mitochondria are responsible for converting nutrients into ATP, your body's energy currency. As we age, mitochondrial function declines, which means less energy for your muscles, your brain, and your overall vitality. But the unique combination of amino acids, B vitamins, and healthy fats in cheese helps repair and fuel these tiny powerhouses. That's why people who include the right types of cheese in their diets often report more consistent energy and better endurance. Now let's get practical. Which cheeses are the best for this? Aged Parmesan is incredibly rich in leucine, the amino acid that triggers muscle growth. Cottage cheese provides slow, digesting casein protein, which keeps your muscles nourished for hours, even overnight. And goat cheese, which contains smaller fat molecules and less lactose, is perfect for people who struggle with digestion. It's also rich in medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, which your body converts directly into energy instead of storing as fat. When you combine these 3 cheeses in your weekly diet, you're giving your muscles everything they need: the protein to rebuild, the fats to fuel, and the micronutrients to support long-term strength and stability. But there's another dimension to this: the psychological aspect. Food should not be about restriction, it should be about nourishment. When you eat foods that are satisfying and deeply nourishing, you reduce cravings, improve your mood, and support your metabolism naturally. Cheese is incredibly satiating, meaning it helps you feel full and satisfied for longer periods of time. That alone can help control blood sugar and prevent overeating, both of which are critical for maintaining a healthy weight and lean muscle mass after 60. You see, it's not just what you eat, it's how your body responds to what you eat. There's also a connection between muscle and the nervous system that we can't ignore. Your muscles don't just move your body, they communicate with your brain. The nutrients in cheese, like B12, calcium, and magnesium, support this muscle-nerve communication, helping with coordination and balance. Many older adults lose confidence because they feel unsteady, but much of that comes from weak muscles and misfiring nerve signals. Strengthening muscle tissue through proper nutrition restores not only physical ability but also confidence and independence. You start moving with ease again, and that changes everything. If you think about it, our ancestors thrived on natural, whole foods, including fermented dairy. They didn't fear cheese, they relied on it. It provided dense nutrition during times when other foods were scarce. Today, we've replaced real food with processed substitutes, and we're seeing the consequences: weak muscles, brittle bones, and sluggish metabolism. Returning to nutrient-rich, time-tested foods like cheese reconnects you with the biological wisdom your body still remembers. So the next time you reach for that sprinkle of Parmesan or a spoonful of cottage cheese, don't feel guilty. Feel empowered. You're feeding your muscles the way nature intended. You're giving your body the amino acids to rebuild, the fats to balance your hormones, and the micronutrients to keep your bones and metabolism strong. You're not indulging, you're healing. You're reversing the silent effects of aging, one bite at a time. Imagine this: a body that feels stronger each month instead of weaker, muscles that respond again to simple movement, a metabolism that hums with energy instead of fatigue. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you start treating cheese not as a forbidden food, but as a powerful nutritional tool. You see, your body isn't broken. It's simply waiting for the right kind of fuel. And when you give it that fuel, everything changes. It's not about eating more. It's about eating smarter. It's about returning to foods that support life instead of depleting it. Cheese, when chosen wisely, fits perfectly into that philosophy. It's not just food. It's medicine for your muscles, strength for your bones, and vitality for your entire body. Most people think muscle loss happens only because they're not lifting enough weights or eating enough protein. But there's a hidden factor most people overlook, and it's often the reason they can't rebuild strength even when they're eating well and staying active. That factor is gut health. You see, your gut isn't just responsible for digestion. It's the gateway to everything your body absorbs: your amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and even the hormones that tell your muscles to grow. When your gut is unhealthy or inflamed, your ability to build and repair muscle collapses, no matter how perfect your diet looks on paper. This is one of the most underestimated truths about aging. You can't have strong muscles with a weak gut. Imagine your digestive system as a manufacturing plant. If the machinery inside is slow, damaged, or out of alignment, it doesn't matter how high quality the raw materials are, the output will be poor. That's exactly what happens when digestion weakens with age. After 60, stomach acid levels drop, pancreatic enzyme output decreases, and the gut microbiome, the billions of bacteria living inside your intestines, starts to lose diversity. This combination means that even if you're eating protein-rich foods, you may not be breaking them down fully into the amino acids your muscles need. Over time, this leads to nutrient deficiencies, fatigue, and the gradual shrinking of muscle fibers known as sarcopenia. Here's where it gets interesting. The health of your gut directly influences the strength and tone of your muscles through something called the gut-muscle axis. This is the communication line between your digestive system and your muscle tissue. When your gut is inflamed, the immune system releases cytokines, inflammatory chemicals that don't just stay in your gut. They circulate through your bloodstream, damaging muscle cells and disrupting recovery. But when your gut is healthy, your microbiome produces short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which calm inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and enhance protein synthesis. That means a healthy gut literally tells your muscles to grow stronger. Now, let's talk about how cheese fits into this. Most people assume cheese is bad for digestion, but that's only true for processed, low-quality varieties loaded with artificial additives. Natural, fermented cheeses, especially goat cheese and aged varieties, can actually support gut health. Goat cheese, for example, contains medium-chain fatty acids that are easier to digest than those found in cow's milk. These fats bypass the usual digestive process and are absorbed directly into the liver for quick energy, reducing strain on your digestive system. Goat cheese is also lower in lactose, which means fewer people experience bloating, gas, or discomfort. And its rich probiotic content helps repopulate the gut with beneficial bacteria, the kind that improve digestion and nutrient absorption. Think about what that means for muscle growth. If your gut bacteria are balanced and your digestion is efficient, every bite of protein you eat gets converted into usable fuel for your muscles. But if your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, much of that protein gets wasted. The amino acids never make it to the bloodstream, and your body ends up breaking down existing muscle tissue for energy instead. This is why many older adults eat well but still lose strength. Their gut simply isn't allowing the nutrients to do their job. Let's go a little deeper. Your gut is also where most of your serotonin and a large portion of your immune system are produced. That means an unhealthy gut doesn't just affect your digestion. It affects your mood, motivation, and recovery. Chronic stress, processed food, medications, and even artificial sweeteners can damage the gut lining and kill off beneficial bacteria. When that happens, your body enters a constant state of low-grade inflammation. And here's the thing, inflammation is the enemy of muscle growth. It interferes with protein synthesis, slows recovery, and makes it harder for your body to repair even minor muscle damage. But when you restore gut health, everything changes. Your inflammation drops, your energy rises, and your body starts using nutrients more efficiently. You start noticing that your muscles respond better to exercise. You feel stronger, lighter, and more balanced. Even your skin and joints begin to improve because your gut controls the absorption of collagen, zinc, magnesium, and other key nutrients. It's like switching from a weak, flickering light bulb to a bright, steady beam. Your body begins to shine again from the inside out. One of the best ways to heal your gut is to eat foods that feed your microbiome, and that includes naturally fermented foods like aged cheeses, kefir, sauerkraut, and plain yogurt. These foods contain probiotics, the beneficial bacteria that rebuild your gut lining and crowd out harmful microbes. But probiotics alone aren't enough. You also need prebiotics, the fibers that feed those bacteria, which you get from vegetables like asparagus, garlic, and leafy greens. When you combine these foods with high-quality proteins and healthy fats, you create an environment where both your gut and your muscles can thrive. Another crucial piece of this puzzle is bile. As we age, our liver and gallbladder often become sluggish, producing less bile. Without enough bile, we can't digest fat properly, and without fat, we can't absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K. These vitamins are essential for muscle contraction, bone health, and recovery. Cheese, especially full fat varieties, provides not only these vitamins but also stimulates bile flow, helping your digestion function more efficiently. When you digest fat properly, your hormones stabilize, your energy becomes more consistent, and your body starts burning fat instead of storing it. Let's not forget the emotional side of digestion either. Have you ever noticed that when you're stressed, your stomach tightens or you lose your appetite? That's because your gut and brain are directly connected through the vagus nerve. Chronic stress suppresses digestion, leading to bloating, indigestion, and poor nutrient absorption. Over time, that stress contributes to both gut dysfunction and muscle breakdown. That's why relaxation, deep breathing, and mindful eating are just as important as what you eat. When you're calm, your body digests better, your muscles recover faster, and your overall vitality increases. Here's the bigger picture: your gut and your muscles are in constant communication. When one suffers, the other declines. But when you start to restore your gut through better nutrition, fermented foods, and reducing inflammation, your body comes back online. Suddenly, you start getting more out of your meals. Your energy lasts longer. Your workouts feel easier. You wake up feeling rested instead of drained. You're not just maintaining your health, you're rebuilding it from the inside out. Picture this: someone over 60 who's been struggling with fatigue and muscle weakness for years. They start focusing not just on exercise and protein, but on gut health. They include goat cheese, leafy greens, and fermented foods in their daily meals. Within weeks, they notice less bloating, fewer sugar cravings, and more energy. Within months, their muscle tone improves, their posture straightens, and their stamina increases. What changed wasn't just their diet, it was their absorption. Their body finally started receiving and utilizing the nutrients it had been missing for years. This is why gut health is the silent foundation of true strength. You can't build a solid structure on a weak base, and your gut is that base, the root system that supports every other system in your body. Once you fix it, everything else begins to fall into place naturally. Food starts working the way it was meant to. Your muscles begin to respond again. Your energy feels youthful. And suddenly, aging doesn't feel like decline, it feels like renewal. So when you think about rebuilding muscle after 60, don't just think about the gym or the number of grams of protein you're eating. Think about your gut, the hidden engine that powers it all. Because when your gut works, everything works. And when you nourish it properly, you don't just digest better, you live better. One of the biggest misconceptions about aging and muscle loss is that it's all about protein. Just eat more and you'll build more. But there's something deeper that most people don't realize, and it's often the reason why muscle strength declines even in those who think they're doing everything right. It's not just about what you eat, but how efficiently your body turns food into energy. And that process revolves around one critical element: mitochondrial health. Think of your mitochondria as the power plants inside every cell. They take the food you eat and convert it into ATP, the cellular fuel that drives every muscle contraction, every heartbeat, and every movement you make. When your mitochondria slow down, your body slows down. You lose endurance, strength, and even mental sharpness. But when they thrive, you feel younger, more energetic, and your muscles become more responsive no matter your age. Now, here's the shocking part: after age 60, mitochondrial function can decline by as much as 50%. That means even if you're eating well, exercising, and resting properly, your cells simply don't have the energy output to maintain muscle mass. You might feel tired more often, find recovery takes longer, and notice that even simple activities, like climbing stairs or carrying groceries, start feeling heavier than before. But the good news is that you can reignite your mitochondria. You can actually rebuild their strength and number through targeted nutrition, lifestyle, and the right types of food. including specific cheeses that are rich in nutrients your mitochondria crave. Let's start with the connection between cheese and mitochondrial health. High-quality cheeses like Parmesan, goat cheese, and aged cheddar are rich in a compound called coenzyme Q10, which plays a critical role in mitochondrial energy production. CoQ10 acts like a spark plug. It helps transfer electrons within your mitochondria to generate ATP, the energy your muscles need to function. Without enough CoQ10, your energy output drops, your recovery slows, and your body starts storing fat instead of burning it. This is one reason many older adults experience muscle weakness and fatigue, not because of lack of protein, but because their mitochondria can't process that protein efficiently. Cheese is also a natural source of vitamin B12 and riboflavin B2, both of which are essential for mitochondrial function. Vitamin B12 supports red blood cell formation, helping deliver oxygen to your muscles, while riboflavin helps convert carbohydrates and fats into usable energy. As people age, their ability to absorb B12 decreases dramatically due to lower stomach acid levels, making cheese, especially fermented varieties, a powerful and easily digestible way to replenish this vital nutrient. Without enough B12, muscles become starved of oxygen, leading to fatigue, weakness, and slower recovery. Now, let's take this deeper. Your mitochondria don't just produce energy, they also regulate cellular repair and longevity. Every time your body repairs damaged muscle fibers, mitochondria are at the heart of that process. When you engage in resistance training or even daily activities that challenge your muscles, you create tiny tears in muscle tissue. Those tears signal your mitochondria to produce more energy and initiate repair. But if your mitochondria are sluggish, that repair process slows down, leading to weaker, smaller, and less functional muscles. That's why maintaining mitochondrial health isn't just about having more energy. It's about staying strong, mobile, and independent as you age. There's another layer to this. Your mitochondria are extremely sensitive to oxidative stress, an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants. Free radicals are natural byproducts of energy production, but when they build up faster than your body can neutralize them, they start damaging the mitochondria themselves. Think of it like an engine overheating from friction. Over time, that damage leads to fatigue, chronic inflammation, and accelerated aging. This is why antioxidants are so important for muscle preservation. They protect the mitochondria so they can keep generating energy efficiently. Now, you might not think of cheese as an antioxidant food, but high-quality aged cheeses are rich in selenium, vitamin A, and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, all of which protect your mitochondria from oxidative stress. CLA, in particular, is a natural fatty acid that helps improve muscle-to-fat ratio, enhances metabolism, and supports cellular repair. It acts almost like a shield for your mitochondria, ensuring they can keep producing energy without being damaged by inflammation or toxins. Let's bring this back to real life. Picture someone over 60 who's been feeling chronically fatigued, their muscles weaker and slower to recover after exercise. They start adding small portions of aged cheese, like goat or Parmesan, into their diet alongside a low-carb, nutrient-dense meal plan. Within weeks, they notice their energy improving, their recovery time shortening, and their strength increasing. What's happening isn't magic, it's biochemistry. Their mitochondria are being refueled with CoQ10, B vitamins, and CLA, giving their muscles the raw energy they need to grow and function. There's also a fascinating connection between fasting, ketones, and mitochondria. When your body is in a fasted state or in mild ketosis, meaning you're burning fat instead of sugar for fuel, your mitochondria become more efficient. They produce energy with less oxidative stress. Cheese, being naturally low in carbohydrates and high in fat, fits perfectly into this metabolic state. It provides sustained energy without spiking insulin, which keeps your mitochondria in an environment that promotes longevity and performance. That's one reason why many people on ketogenic or low-carb diets report better energy, focus, and muscle tone as they age. Their mitochondria are thriving in that fat-burning mode. But it's not just about what you eat, it's also about how you live. Mitochondria respond to signals from your environment, and movement is one of the strongest of those signals. When you challenge your body through strength training, walking, or even cold exposure, you trigger a process called mitochondrial biogenesis, which means your body creates new mitochondria. The more mitochondria you have, the more energy your muscles can produce. Pair that with the right nutrients, like those found in aged cheeses, and you've got a recipe for rejuvenation at the cellular level. Here's the truth that most people overlook: muscle loss with age isn't inevitable. It's a reflection of declining mitochondrial health, and you have the power to change that. Every bite of nutrient-rich food, every moment of movement, every period of rest is a signal to your body to rebuild energy capacity. You can reverse that cellular slowdown. You can reignite the fire within your cells, and when you do, it shows on the outside, in your posture, your stamina, and your overall vitality. There's something deeply empowering about knowing that even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your cells can still regenerate and grow stronger. Your body isn't broken, it's simply waiting for the right fuel and the right signals. When you nourish your mitochondria with the right foods, and yes, that includes certain cheeses, you give your body permission to perform like it did decades earlier. Imagine waking up with more energy than you've had in years. You get out of bed easily, your joints don't ache, and your mind feels sharp. You walk into the day feeling capable, strong, and alive. That's the result of optimized mitochondrial function. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. The secret isn't a new supplement or an extreme workout routine. It's about getting your cells to work smarter. That's what this approach does. It taps into your biology at the deepest level, restoring the spark that powers everything you do. When you eat foods that support your mitochondria, like nutrient-dense cheeses, green vegetables, and healthy fats, you're not just eating for today, you're eating for long-term energy, strength, and vitality. So when you think about rebuilding muscle after 60, think beyond protein and exercise. Think about the engine that makes it all possible, your mitochondria. Feed them, protect them, and they'll reward you with more energy, better recovery, and a body that feels truly alive again. Because it's not about getting older, it's about getting your energy back. And once you do that, everything else follows naturally. There's something most people over 60 never get told. Muscle loss is not simply a result of aging, it's a result of inactivity at the cellular level. You see, your body operates on a use it or lose it principle, and this doesn't just apply to your muscles, but to the very cells that keep those muscles alive. When you stop stimulating your body, even with gentle movements, the signal for growth turns off. Your muscles start to shrink, your energy levels drop, and your metabolism slows down. But here's the good news, you can reactivate this system. You can actually turn back on the machinery that keeps your body youthful and strong, even well past your 60s. And when you pair the right nutrition, like specific muscle-building cheeses, with the right kind of movement, the results can be nothing short of life-changing. Most people think exercise after 60 means intense gym sessions or heavy lifting. But that's not true. The key is consistency, not intensity. The human body is incredibly adaptive, even in later years. When you give your muscles just enough resistance, just enough challenge, they respond by growing stronger. It doesn't have to be complicated. Bodyweight exercises, light resistance bands, or even regular walking can awaken dormant muscle fibers. But here's where it gets fascinating. Your muscles aren't just physical tissues. They're also endocrine organs. They release myokines, special chemical messengers that communicate with your brain, liver, and even your immune system. These myokines trigger fat burning, reduce inflammation, and improve insulin sensitivity. In other words, when you move, your muscles send a healing message to your entire body. Think about this. Every time you do a simple squat, lift a grocery bag, or take the stairs, your body releases these powerful compounds that act like natural medicine. That's why movement is not just about staying fit, it's about staying alive. Now, combine this with nutrition that supports your muscle metabolism, like high-quality cheeses rich in calcium, vitamin K2, and protein, and you've got a powerful synergy that fuels muscle regeneration from both sides. Calcium supports muscle contraction, K2 directs that calcium into your bones and muscles where it belongs instead of your arteries, and the protein provides the amino acids your body needs to rebuild tissue. This is how food and movement work together in perfect harmony to reverse sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. There's a biological reason this combination works so well. When you exercise, you create tiny tears in your muscle fibers. This might sound harmful, but it's actually what stimulates growth. Your body responds by repairing those fibers and making them thicker and stronger. The problem for many people over 60 is that they lack the nutrients necessary for that repair process, especially leucine, a key amino acid found in cheese, eggs, and fish. Without enough leucine, your body struggles to activate the mTOR pathway, which is the switch that turns on muscle protein synthesis. Think of mTOR as the builder mode of your body. When it's on, your muscles grow and repair. When it's off, you gradually lose strength. So, when you eat foods that contain leucine, like aged cheeses, and combine that with light resistance movement, you're essentially flipping that builder switch back on. Now, let's talk about circulation, something that's often overlooked when it comes to muscle health. As we age, blood flow naturally decreases, especially to the extremities. This means your muscles don't get enough oxygen or nutrients, and waste products like lactic acid build up more easily, leading to stiffness, soreness, and fatigue. Movement improves circulation, and improved circulation enhances nutrient delivery. It's a perfect loop. The more you move, the better your muscles are nourished and the more energy you feel. And when you include foods like cheese that are rich in vitamin B12 and riboflavin, you further support red blood cell production, ensuring oxygen reaches every cell. The result is improved stamina, less fatigue, and a body that feels lighter and stronger with each passing week. But it's not just about the muscles. Movement has profound effects on the brain too. Every time you exercise, you increase blood flow to the brain, which boosts focus, memory, and mood. This happens through a protein called BDNF's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps grow new neurons and strengthens existing connections. Many people don't realize that as you lose muscle, you also lose cognitive sharpness. But when you move regularly, you keep both your body and mind young. This is why people who stay active into their 60s, 70s, and beyond often report clearer thinking, better mood, and higher confidence. Their body and brain are speaking the same energetic language again. Another powerful effect of movement is its ability to regulate hormones. Exercise, especially strength-based or resistance exercise, increases testosterone and growth hormone, both of which decline sharply with age. These hormones are vital for muscle preservation, fat metabolism, and energy levels. Even light exercise, when done consistently, can help rebalance these hormones naturally, and here's where the right nutrition complements it perfectly. Healthy fats found in cheese, such as conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, and omega-3s, support hormone production. Your body uses these fats as building blocks for testosterone and estrogen. Without them, hormonal balance becomes impossible. So again, it's not just about moving more. It's about fueling that movement with the right nutrients so your hormones can do their job efficiently. Let's not forget another major benefit of movement: insulin sensitivity. One of the biggest silent contributors to muscle loss and fatigue is insulin resistance. When your cells become resistant to insulin, they can't efficiently absorb glucose or amino acids, which are vital for energy and muscle repair. Exercise helps reverse this by increasing GLU-4 receptors in your muscles, making them more responsive to insulin. Essentially, your muscles become sponges for nutrients again. Combine that with nutrient-dense, low-carb foods like cheese, leafy greens, and healthy fats, and you create a metabolic environment where your muscles thrive instead of deteriorate. Now imagine this in real life. Someone over 60 who feels stiff, tired, and weaker by the month. They start walking daily, adding a few bodyweight squats and stretches, and begin including high-quality aged cheese with their meals. Within weeks, they notice subtle but powerful changes. Their energy lasts longer through the day, their posture improves, their digestion feels better, and their mood lifts. They don't just feel stronger, they feel younger. What's happening inside their body is even more profound. Their muscle fibers are being rebuilt. Their mitochondria are producing more energy. Their hormones are balancing out. Their blood sugar is stabilizing. This is the body healing itself through the synergy of movement and nutrition. One of the most remarkable things about this process is how quickly the body responds. Even after decades of inactivity, studies show that older adults can regain muscle mass, strength, and energy within weeks of consistent movement. That's because the human body never truly loses its ability to adapt. It just needs the right signals. The moment you start using your muscles again and fueling them properly, your body gets the message. It's time to grow again. That's the beauty of it. Regeneration is always possible. But here's where many people go wrong. They overtrain or try to do too much too fast. That can actually backfire, increasing stress hormones like cortisol, which break down muscle tissue. The goal isn't to push your body into exhaustion, it's to activate it gradually. Focus on small, sustainable actions. Short walks after meals, light resistance work 3 times a week, and stretches to keep joints mobile. Pair these habits with nutrient-rich foods, plenty of water, and quality sleep, and your body will do the rest. The secret is balance. Giving your body enough stimulation to grow, but enough recovery to rebuild. This process isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. The ability to move freely, lift things easily, and maintain your independence is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And it's never too late to start. Every step, every stretch, every nutrient-dense meal you eat is a signal to your body that you're choosing vitality over decline. You're telling your cells to stay alive, active, and youthful. So, when you think about fighting sarcopenia and staying strong after 60, remember this: your muscles aren't gone, they're waiting to be reawakened. The fire of strength, energy, and vitality is still there, just dimmed. All you have to do is feed it and move it. Combine movement with nutrient-rich foods like cheese that support muscle metabolism, and you're not just preventing decline, you're reversing it. You're reigniting your body's natural rhythm of strength, energy, and regeneration. And that's the real secret to feeling young, strong, and fully alive at any age.